I knew something was wrong the moment my laptop took 5 minutes just to open a blank document. At first, I thought it was a glitch, a weird update, or some malware messing things up. But when my phone froze trying to send a simple text, and even my smartwatch rebooted mid-step count, I realized this was everywhere. Every device, every system. Somehow, the whole world was stuck with only 2 gigabytes of RAM. I stared at my desktop screen, the spinning wheel of death mocking me. I tried to open a few browser tabs, news, email, weather, and the machine gasped like it was lifting a mountain. Even typing felt like shouting into a canyon and waiting for the echo to come back. I could feel the frustration clawing at my skin, but underneath it, a strange awe. I had grown up in an age of limitless memory, infinite multitasking, effortless speed. Now, everything felt ancient, fragile, mortal. Operating systems collapsed under their own weight. Windows 11, Mac OS, even the sleekest Linux distros, crippled. Basic tasks became epic battles. My computer was constantly swapping memory to disk just to survive. Opening Photoshop? Impossible. Launching a video editor? Like asking a turtle to fly. I started to realize modern software wasn't designed for this kind of scarcity. Every update, every patch had been built assuming we had endless memory to spare. Without it, they bloated, they stumbled, they died. It wasn't just my personal devices either. Traffic lights blinked at random. Trains froze mid-route. Hospitals scrambled as medical equipment lagged, stalled, rebooted. Every piece of tech we trusted was suddenly fragile, vulnerable. I watched news anchors fumble through broadcasts, their teleprompters lagging 2-3 sentences behind. Air traffic controllers resorted to manual systems, barking coordinates into old radios like it was the 1950s. In the middle of all this chaos, something strange happened inside me, a shift. It was like I could hear the heartbeat of technology itself, slowing down, struggling, gasping for breath. And it wasn't just the machines that changed. It was us. Patience. Something we'd all abandoned in the age of 5G and instant downloads became valuable again. I found myself planning every click, every keystroke like moves in a game of chess. I couldn't afford to make mistakes, couldn't afford to rush. I missed the rush of multitasking, streaming music, editing photos, talking to friends all at once. But there was a strange peace in the slowdown too. A weird kind of mindfulness. Every task demanded full attention. Sending an email felt like carving a letter into stone. Watching a YouTube video without stuttering became a small personal miracle. Still, the limitations gnawed at our way of life. AI models stumbled. Cloud computing slowed to a crawl. Developers scrambled to rewrite code, stripping out luxuries, cutting back features, rebuilding the digital world for survival instead of splendor. I watched people rediscover text-based interfaces, command lines, low-spec apps. Suddenly, the sleek, bloated giants of Silicon Valley looked ridiculous next to stripped-down, efficient programs from decades ago. The world had been sprinting for so long, we forgot how to walk. Sometimes late at night, staring at the sluggish glow of my screen, I wondered if this was a curse or a second chance, a moment to rethink the insane pace we had forced on ourselves. A reminder that speed wasn't everything, that maybe, just maybe, slower could mean better. But even then, in my quieter moments, I couldn't shake the longing. I missed the ease, the freedom, the power. Living in a 2 gigabyte world felt like running underwater, every step an act of sheer will. And no matter how much I adapted, no matter how much I learned to love the slowness, a part of me always hungered for the impossible speed we once had. And maybe, just maybe, took for granted. Some nights I'd sit by the window watching the city stutter and flicker like an old broken film reel. Neon signs would glitch, traffic lights froze mid-cycle, and people moved differently too. Slower, hesitant, like the whole rhythm of life had shifted a few beats behind. It was eerie, beautiful, terrifying. There were rumors, whispered online through half-crashed forums and sluggish live streams, about underground groups trying to restore the old speed. Hardware scavengers, they called them. People hunting down forgotten computers from the early 2000s, machines that had been built lean and mean, designed for limitations. Pentium 4s, old ThinkPads, stripped-down Linux systems, tools from an age when 2 gigabytes was a blessing, not a death sentence. I thought about joining them once, thought about tracking down a machine that could still breathe in this starved world. But even if I found one, would it change anything? This wasn't just a hardware failure, it was something deeper, like the entire digital ecosystem had evolved beyond the roots that once nourished it, like giving a hummingbird the body of an elephant and expecting it to still fly. I started keeping a journal, paper, pen, the slowest interface of all. Every page felt like an act of rebellion against a world choking on its own ambition. I wrote about the first time I played an open-world game, the first time I video called a friend across the world without a second of delay, the first time a song streamed instantly from a cloud I couldn't even see. Memories of a golden age, now dust. Funny thing was, the more I wrote, the more I realized we had built our empires on speed, but we had lost something too. The wonder, the effort, the soul. Everything had become so easy, so fast, that nothing felt real anymore. In a weird, painful way, 2 gigabytes gave me that back, forced me to feel every second, forced me to choose what mattered. And yet, the weight of limitation never left me. Every moment was a calculation. Every decision carried consequence. I couldn't just open 30 tabs and let them rot in the background anymore. I couldn't binge, couldn't waste, couldn't consume mindlessly. Life itself had become heavier. I knew deep down that the scientists, the engineers, the dreamers, they were already working to fix this. Somewhere in labs powered by half-functioning servers and backup generators, they were probably building a way out. A patch, a reboot, a salvation, and maybe, one day, the world would roar back to life, faster than ever, leaving this strange chapter behind like a bad dream. But part of me wondered, when that day comes, will we even recognize ourselves? Will we mourn the patience, the focus, the quiet strength we had to rediscover? Or will we race forward faster than before, desperate to forget how it felt to move at the speed of thought, instead of the speed of light? I don't know. Maybe by then I'll be too busy chasing loading bars and buffering wheels to even notice. But tonight, as the city hums a slow, broken song beneath my window, I let myself remember. I let myself breathe. And in the stillness, in the silence between crashes and freezes, I almost believe, maybe 2 gigabytes wasn't a curse. Maybe it was a mirror, a reminder of how much we need and how much we don't. The days blurred into each other, a slow-motion cascade of frozen screens and half-loaded web pages. I adapted because I had to. Everyone did. Meetings moved back to physical spaces, handwritten notes replaced emails, and the cloud, the almighty cloud, became a slow-moving fog we could barely see through. There was a strange democracy in it all. Whether you were a billionaire tech mogul or a high school student, 2 gigabytes was your limit. No premium subscription could buy you faster loading times. No sleek $1,000 device could outpace the cold, hard ceiling of memory. It was humbling, almost sacred, the way it leveled us. Stripped of our digital armor, we were just humans again, clumsy, imperfect, slow. Some resisted. I watched as a new culture of memory hoarders sprang up. People who treated every megabyte like gold, stripping their systems to the bone, running stripped-down terminal windows, living in the past to survive the present. They traded lightweight programs like contraband, old-school text editors, bare-bones browsers, games that could run on a potato. There was pride in it, too, an unspoken brotherhood among those who could still thrive in the 2 gigabyte apocalypse. And yet, even as we rebuilt little by little, something darker crept in. The systems that depended on vast, fluid data, healthcare networks, AI systems, transportation grids, they didn't just slow down, they failed, they collapsed. Planes were grounded for good. Supply chains broke apart like brittle bone. The world's great machine, once a marvel of unstoppable momentum, was now a rusted clock ticking out its final hours. I found myself dreaming about it sometimes. The old internet, wild and endless, alive with infinite tabs and infinite voices. I missed it like an amputated limb, missed the noise, the velocity, the beautiful, reckless surge of humanity at full speed. But waking up was always the same. Sluggish apps, frozen updates, the world draped in the heavy cloth of slowness, and in the middle of it all, the silence grew. Without constant notifications, without endless distractions, there was space for other things to creep in. Memory, reflection, regret. I remembered old promises I never kept, dreams I abandoned for the ease of the next dopamine hit. In the quiet, there were no more excuses, just the long, slow echo of my own choices. Maybe that was the real horror, not the broken machines or the crumbling networks, but the way slowness forced us to meet ourselves face to face. No escape, no distractions, just us, stripped bare. I don't know what tomorrow will look like. Maybe the engineers will finally punch through the 2 gigabyte curse. Maybe we'll rise again, faster, brighter, hungrier than before. Maybe we'll forget this strange twilight world of patience and pain. Or maybe this is it. The new normal. A slower world for slower hearts. A world where every action costs something. Where every second is a decision. Where every thought echoes longer, deeper, heavier. I close my notebook, the paper crackling beneath my fingertips, and stare out into the dim, faltering city. And for the first time, I don't reach for my phone. I don't check for updates. I don't reload the page. I just sit there, breathing with the broken world, feeling it beat its slow, stubborn rhythm beneath my skin. And somehow, I'm still here? Maybe that's the secret we forgot. That beneath all the speed, all the noise, all the glittering rush of progress, there was always just this, a heartbeat, a breath, a life, lived one moment at a time. Not in the endless race toward more, but in the fragile, stubborn grace of enough. And maybe, just maybe, 2 gigabytes was never a limitation at all. Maybe it was a door, one that forced us to slow down, to step through, and finally remember what it means to be human.